What's up, YouTube? I'm Everett. This is EvTV. We are shooting our second episode in the same day. I did the intro episode literally like 10 minutes ago, and then went and rewatched that. And I noticed there were some sound quality issues when I was showing the cards, and I apologize for that. I'm literally using the webcam off of my laptop to record these videos. So, in essence, I am using budget recording equipment to talk about budget sports cards. Kind of crazy, right? So, anyway, apologies for that. Quick rundown of the cards shown in the last episode. I showed a BAM Noir RPA, BAM Adebayo Noir RPA, excuse me, number to 99. I showed a BAM. I think it's like let me pull out this. Let me look at the card real quick. I still have it here. It is a Crown Royal. Okay, just wanted to make sure I got this right. It was a Crown Royal auto, numbered to 25, and then I showed you guys a dual jersey Darius Slayton autograph, numbered to 99, and then a cracked ice prism Darius Slayton, and that one's not serial numbered. And then like to continue recapping the last episode for the next 30 seconds or so. Gave you guys some insight as to why I like those players, and promised to do a full-on profile of each going forward. So now on to this episode. If this is going to be looking at sports cards as alternative investments, and if we're going to do a channel on the subject, then we need to make sure that they actually have potential to be good alternative investments. So there is a little bit of debate in the community between whether or not what I'm referring to is actually speculating and not investing. So I got curious and I actually went onto the Merriam-Webster dictionary and pulled the definitions for both, because I wanted to be educated if I formed an opinion on whether I was speculating or investing. So the definition of speculating, as you guys can see on my screen, is to assume a business risk in hope of a future profit, specifically buying or selling with the expectation of profiting from market fluctuations. And the definition of investing is to commit money in order to earn a financial return. Now, from what I understand, the conflict is coming from buying prospects and young players. The people that are saying that it's speculating are saying you're speculating by buying those young players who aren't proven yet. And they're saying that investing, if you're investing in sports cards, you'd be buying like Hall of Famers and guys whose careers already been kind of set in stone, and hoping that those cards continue to appreciate. And based off the definition I'm seeing, I think whether you call it speculating or investing, you have an argument. I'll do my best to use both terms. That way I keep everybody happy. But I think based on the definitions in front of me, you can make a case for either. All right, now let's get on to the actual numbers and the meat of this episode. So I feel like it'd be really, really helpful for those of us that are just starting to look at sports cards as investments to draw a parallel to something that is more generally viewed as an investment, and that is stocks. Now, I was actually having a conversation kind of about like what I was doing with sports cards with a coworker, and when I told him about what I was doing, he actually drew the conclusion that I was basically, it was like a sports card stock market, basically, is I think what he said. And I had felt that way for a while, and it was kind of cool to hear somebody else confirm it too. But basically, when you buy stocks, you're investing in the performance of a business, right? If that business performs really, really well, the price of your stock is going to go up. When you buy somebody's rookie card, you're investing in the performance of that player. So in essence, you're, instead of buying a stock in a business, you're purchasing stock in a player. Now, and if that player performs really well and wins championships and does a lot of good things in his career, the value of that card is going to go up. If he doesn't perform well and he doesn't live up to expectations, then the value of the card is going to go down. So the sports card market fluctuates similar to the stock market. And then it also needs to be noted that just like with any investment or speculation, whatever term you want to use there is risks. right? You always, whenever you're investing money into an unknown or putting money into an unknown, you risk losing that money. So stock market's risky, sports card investing is risky. There's people that make a lot of money off of both though. So, and this is an example of a sports card success story. Now, I told you guys I was going to focus on budget-friendly sports cards, and as you can see on the screen, I got this graph off of Beckett. I hope they don't mind that I'm using it. Um, so in October of 2011, the Mike, according to Beckett, the Mike this pictured Mike Trout rookie card was going for $4. So that's pretty budget friendly, I think, right? A lot of us can validate buying a $4 card. And in February 2018, that card spiked to 250. Now, if you look at this graph, it does have like somewhat of a nice progression, I guess. I mean, the jump from 60 to 100 is pretty significant, I feel like, and then obviously the jump over a short span of $100 to $250 is pretty quick. But this shows right here that sports cards do have the potential to appreciate a lot. That the return on investment of this card, based on the data shown, is over 6,000%. And this isn't accounting for graded cards, right? You could have bought this card for $4 as a raw card in 2011, gotten it graded and gotten a 10. And if you would have gotten that card as a 10, and you saw the graded as a 10, and you saw my previous episode where this card was pictured on eBay selling for over $1,000, I mean, that's multiply 6,000 by 4, right? And that would have been your return on investment. So what I wanted to do with this graphic right here is show that, you know, sports cards do have a very, very good profit potential. And there are, you know, Mike Trout's a very, very good player, but he's not a unicorn in terms of values spiking like this. I mean, Giannis, the MVP last year, had it happen. Lamar Jackson this year, Patrick Mahomes last year, right? There's a lot of guys that have seen their values just kind of out, quote unquote, out of nowhere spike. Now, so we've seen that, you know, based on that Mike Trout card, and I gave you guys some other examples that I didn't show, that there is profit potential in this market, and it can be pretty lucrative, right? Like there are cards that get up to over $1,000, and the potential for a card to be worth over $1,000 is there. So when I was thinking about investing in sports cards, I came up with this little moniker, and it is you want to obtain information, you want to process that information, and then you want to act on the information that you obtained and processed before the general public catches on to that information. And if you can do that repeatedly and be successful in doing that, that'll lead you, those basic steps will lead you to profits, right? Because that Mike Trout card got super valuable when everybody realized, wow, this guy is a generational talent. The sports card market, like a lot of other aspects of life, it's very, very reactionary. So that's why you see those big spikes, because people will see a guy that's won multiple MVPs and be like, oh my gosh, I need to get that guy's cards. And you'll get this rush of people buying cards, right? You'll notice in a future video, the Giannis has a similar spike, and I'll break down in the next episode why that spike happened. But if you would have had that information, if you would have had information that told you, hey, Mike Trout's probably going to be a really good baseball player back in 2011, and you would have bought a bunch of his cards, so you would have looked at the information, his scouting reports, you would have derived based on his scouting reports that, wow, this guy's going to be a great player or has the potential to be a great player, and the $4 card is worth the risk. So you acted on that information by buying a bunch of those $4 cards in 2011, before the general public realized how good he was. Then you'd be sitting on a pile of money right now, right? You'd be very, very happy with the $4 purchases you made 7 years ago. So this is some further reading for you guys. When I was digging into whether or not sports cards actually could be a viable alternative investment, these are some of the articles that I read that convinced me that it could be. So I wanted to share them with you guys. And if I'm not very familiar with posting videos on YouTube, if you can't tell, so I'm going to try to get all these links in the description. If not, then I'm sorry I couldn't figure out how to do it, and hopefully you guys can still find a way to search for the articles that are listed here because they're all great reads. Another thing I want to mention is the PWCC marketplace. That's another really good resource for sports card investors as well. That's got a lot of great market pricing history because eBay only goes back a few months. So if you want to see somebody like Giannis started out, like what his prices started out as, you'd go to PWCC. Now, some final thoughts, and I'm gonna make a habit of putting this particular slide at the end of all my videos, and the reason why is I think the facts on here are very, very important, and the things on here on this slide are extremely important. Do your research. We have access to virtually unlimited amounts of information. Take advantage of it. And a great way to start your research is by subscribing to my channel. Like I said, I have a lot of great content planned, and I'm looking forward to continuously giving you guys great information. And after you subscribe to my channel and watch some of the videos, do more research, right? Because you may agree or disagree with things I say, and that's great. I just want to get you thinking, right? Like I may talk about how much I like Bam Adebayo, and you may go read about it and be like, dude, why the heck are you investing in a center? Like guys that handle the ball are typically more valuable, right? So you may find that, and or you may hear me talking about him. Go look at his stats, go look at his physical profile, and think the same way that I am. And wow, this guy's going to be a phenomenal player someday. And oh my gosh, his stuff is dirt cheap. But the main principle out of all this is do your research, take advantage of how easily accessible all this information is right now. The next one is going to be avoid making emotional decisions. I've mentioned that this hobby and like this, I don't know, like sports cards as a whole, it's a very reactionary market, right? So when you see a guy drop like 40 or 50 points in a basketball game and somehow manage to get a triple double too, i.e. Luka, um, it's very, very tempting, like to think, oh my gosh, I have to get this guy's cards before they all go up. And that can be good. Sometimes if you get good deals, it can also lead you into overpaying a lot, right? So you got to be careful. Don't make emotional decisions. eBay is kind of scary in a sense that when you're bidding on an item, if you get outbid, they make it really, really easy to up your bid by just a few more dollars because they give you a button, and all you have to do to throw more money at a particular card is click on that button over and over again, and eventually you'll outbid people. Be very, very careful with that. Don't get in an emotional bidding war and think that you have to win this one auction, because odds are there's going to be several more in the next couple weeks, right? So just use your best judgment. Make sure the decisions you're making, when you're buying cards, are logical and when you're emotionally composed. The last thing that I'm going to say, and this is, in my opinion, the most important thing that I've talked about in this video and that I will go over in this video, and that is to invest or speculate, whatever you want to call it, but do it responsibly, right? That seeing something go from $4 to $250, even if you don't actually own the card, but just seeing the information that shows that it could do that, is very, very exciting. I'm going to show you some Giannis information next video that's going to be extremely exciting. That does not mean taking that information and putting yourself in a position where the sports cards that you buy have to do exactly what Trout's card did or Giannis's card did in order for you to not have real life consequences. So basically what I'm saying is only invest what you can, right? Don't put yourself in a position where if those in sports cards investments or speculations don't work out, then you're going to suffer some real life consequences. Like even for me, I buy a lot of sports cards, but if none of them panned out, which it would suck, but overall I'm not going to be worried about paying my bills. So don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be nervous about paying bills because you spent all your money on sports cards. that's not a way to live. That's not a way to invest. That you're going to be making worse decisions because your emotions are going to be getting in the way. So just be responsible. I've ranted way too long about that, but I really wanted to hammer that home. All right. So thank you guys for watching my video. And like the next video I mentioned, I kind of spoiled it already. I mentioned Giannis, right? I'm going to show you guys how $100 could have turned into over $20,000 for you if you would have invested in a particular card, which, as you guys know now, is going to pertains to Giannis, but still. So, not going to want to miss that episode. Really looking forward to doing that, and that will be the third and final episode that I record in the same day. So if I start looking more tired, please forgive me. It's like 10. It's past 10 o'clock at night over where I'm at right now, and I'm exhausted. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll look forward to having you back for the next episode.